Howdy, how's it going? I am not a financial advisor, and also you can take my advice or you don't have to. Either one is fine. I'm just gonna be talking about in this video the research I'm doing, explaining on what I think. Like, for example, when we talk about some of the sword and shield sets that I think are underrated, you might think completely differently, and that's totally fine. But hopefully, I can make you kind of think, or maybe give you a good idea. That's the whole goal of this video. So for today's video, I'm looking up some sword and shield sets. The first one I want to do is Astral Radiance. Now, this honestly, I think this set's one of the most underrated sets, and I'm going to explain why. So, if we look at it right now, we have price per pack's about $6.50 per pack, which for a sword and shield set, that is like, I would say dirt cheap, because there's some Scarlet and Violet sets more expensive than this, which is absurd. So we have that. And then if we go to the sleeved blisters, about $8.95. I think I have like one or two on my store. And if y'all want to check out my store, matrixcollects.com. And starting from the 13th to the 18th, the store will be closed. I'm going to be going on a bit of a vacation. When I come back, though, the store will be right back open. So if you're watching this days after it's uploaded, just note that the store might be closed for a couple days. But yeah, they're at about $8.60, which if y'all didn't know, just to throw you kind of a little heads up, sleeve blister packs always do go for way more value than the loose packs. Why that is, it's kind of like a collecting type of thing. It like kind of looks better in my personal opinion, but other people think the same. Now, if we go through here, there's a couple things I want to show. I want to show the blisters because honestly, 3-pack blisters, people don't understand, or maybe some do, but I'm going to give you some info. 3-pack blisters go up insanely in value, like insane. Brilliant Stars, for example, is blisters that are up to like $32 to $35 now, which is insane. For Brilliant Stars packs, they're only worth about 20 bucks. But it's the fact that it's sealed, and also the promos can make it expensive. So we have an EV one right here. Right now it's at 31. Yeah, 30, 30, 32, 25. And remember, when these first came out, they were only $15. So this is an insane difference. We have the EV there, and then we also have the Sylveon. Now, I'm debating whether or not to pick up one of these just because they're evolutions. The last recently sold here is 25. I don't know what. Wait, what's the image? Oh wow, with some cardboard folding. Oh, so they're $25, but they're like a bit messed up, I guess you could say. Interesting. Still pretty cheap, but they're still pretty cheap. But the main thing I do want to go over is the booster box. So we have the booster box here. It has gone down significantly to $369. Now, last recently sold 369, 369. Now, is this a booster box or is it? No, this is just packs. So last recently sold 370-ish. Now, honestly, I think this is actually disgustingly cheap for a Sword and Shield booster box. And if you may say, because I think the question may be brought up of if this set is like just garbage, it's just underrated. And the reason I say so, as we look at the Elite Trainer box, this set just doesn't have much appreciation from the market as some of these other sets are. Now, the ETP has gone up. Elite Trainer boxes will more than likely go up, and that happens in history of time of any Elite Trainer box that you'll see. They're always a great thing to invest in. Last year's sold 89.90. It's funny, a couple years ago, you can get these from Target. Maybe it was like 2 years ago or something like that, where you can get them for like, I think it was like 30, 35, almost $4 from the Black Friday at Target, which is nuts. I was never able to do that because I can't find stores that sell any of them, which is totally fine. I like buying my stuff online anyways. But some important things to point out. Number one being the Machamp. Machamp is a pretty decently popular Pokemon. It's been out since, it's the basic 151. So, honestly, it's a great card. Beautiful artwork. I just don't think enough people know about this card. So, if we go to the last recently sold, 142, 137, 140. Honestly, for an alternative art, and as popular as Machamp I feel personally is, I think 140 for an Altar and Sword and Shield's pretty cheap. But again, I just think this set's underrated. On top of that, Palkia is a pretty underrated Pokemon, I feel. Last recently sold 53, 53. So there's a couple cards in this set that can make this set a little pricey. Another one being example of the Dialga. Dialga's a beautiful artwork, as you can tell here. Hopefully the face cam doesn't cover it up too much, but I mean, beautiful artwork on the card. And then we go to last recently sold, we'll see 45, 48s. But I say personally that this set is super underrated for the big main reason being the Machamp. And it's also, I mean, if you go to the next page, you can go to, let's go high to low. I actually have one of these, the Lilligant. Now, the reason I have this card and I invest into it early was because of some of the artwork that's in this set. So, in this card. So we have Starly, Rufflet, Pachirisu, Spheal. You see a bunch of Pokemon, right? I invested in this card personally. I think this card's going to skyrocket. I'm meaning like 20, 30 bucks sometime. And I'll take that, you feel me? It's a beautiful alt art that I think could be in those like cute collections. But like that's, we'll go to highs to low to give you kind of an understanding on the price of the cards. There's also two other cards. The Starmie V, which is because of the Misty making it very, very expensive, which I guess makes a lot of sense, right? Ooh, my face kept on. Makes a lot of sense why this card's expensive. Honestly, I'm surprised. I think this card's gone down a little bit. Yeah, 100, and now it's at 86. I'd buy at the low, in my personal opinion. I don't know where to find this card in mint condition. If I could, I would. Maybe I might pick up the PSA. Well, who knows? I'm always confused on which to invest in at the moment, but from doing this overview, I already have loose packs of Astral Radiance. I'm either planning on picking up a booster box of this set or picking up a card from Brilliant Stars in a PSA 10 that we'll later talk about. Next we have is the Garchomp V. This is another good example of a very good card. And if you know Cynthia is a very, very popular. We'll duplicate the tab and I'll just show you an example of Cynthia just being a very popular trainer. Now, when it comes to Pokemon, you'll realize, like, over history of time, there's certain cards that will always be super pricey. So, Cynthia, $200. Cynthia the Garchomp, $200. Cynthia Cosmic, $200. $160 from Hidden Fates. Cynthia just kind of has that, expensive card type of taste, if that makes any sense. So, seeing this would be a great card to invest in. And just not even the card itself, but the set. This set is fantastic. This being another card for it. And then the Beedrill's cool, but a $30 card, which is still pretty good for cards, don't get me wrong. But the main preference is there's like 4 big cards in this set. If you want to count Dialga 5. And yet, this set for Sword and Shield is still dirt cheap. It's an amazing set. Now, set number 2, which I actually have. I've sold a lot of mine, but I still have about like maybe 12 loose packs and 2 3-pack blisters of Brilliant Stars. Brilliant Stars. If we look at the booster box, we have here, it's about $450 less recently sold, $412, $430, $350, $460. So a good $410, $415 minimum booster box. Now, we have the Charizard number 1. Now, the Charizard, it's pretty cool, but there's been so many Charizard Altars, people kind of forget about this one. As recently sold, it's $250, $240. So it's about a $240-ish card, which is still really good for any type of card regardless. Then if we go to the Elite Trainer boxes, it's almost at about $100 counting shipping. You go to here. Oh, okay. We're seeing minimum, okay, 96 here, but minimum 100 now. Elite Trainer box going for $100, which is nuts. Honestly, it'd be a good ETB. I had an ETB at some point. But I'll tell you in just a minute on what card I plan on getting a PSA 10 in. However, I need to show you a couple cards. The Umbreon. I had this card at one point, sold it, and then I also just watched my friend, as he bought a pack from me, he pulled it himself, which is really cool. It's a really expensive card. It's a really nice card as well. 60, 60, 57. It's insane. $60 trainer gallery card, which is insane. With the Sylveon VMAX as well. Beautiful, beautiful card. I feel like these would be like good, valuable cards in those cute collections. And I bring that up because there's certain types of collections people collect, right? And a lot of them have big niches. Cute collection being one of them, or certain Pokemon being another, or alt arts. Some people collect just golds. Like, everyone has like their own type of collection. And when I bring up like cute collection, for example, I'm just talking about like what type of people could be buying these cards in the future. Does that make any sense? Umbreon, I think I've pulled almost every single one of these cards at some point. That's how many Brilliant Stars packs I've bought over time. But there are some cool cards. Mimikyu had a buyout a while back, and crazy enough that I guess the graph doesn't show it. But yeah, this card had a buyout. There was a YouTuber who bought it out. He openly said it. And now this card is going to be forever at a new price, at a pretty high price, being the Mimikyu. Now, I think even without the buyout, it would have been pretty popular since Mimikyu's a popular Pokemon, and so was the trainer in the back. But the big things is the Umbreon right here and this Sylveon. Now, the reason I plan on picking up a PSA 10 of the Sylveon and or an Astral Radiance booster box is because it reminds me of the Generation Sylveon. So if let me duplicate the tab and show you an example. So we'll look up, let's see if I can look it up, Sylveon. Sylveon, by the way, as you can tell, is one of the most popular Pokemon by far. It is like not even close. And it looks like this generation ones has skyrocketed lately. Holy moly, what? Oh my gosh. $138 near mint is gross. Either way, it reminds me of this Sylveon, right? And a lot of people like this card. However, when it comes to some people trying to buy this card, they can think of, they want a cheaper option. Remember, you got to think of everyone when it comes to Pokemon. This is nearly half the price and still very nice. Plus, there's a trainer there too. I feel like trainers definitely can have a big boost when it comes to sales and such. Or just likability of the card. But really great card. And I'm thinking about picking up one of the PSA cards. I think it run for about $140, $150 for a PSA 10. Honestly, I think that's a good deal. I know it's like an alt. I call it alt art trainer gallery. I think they're just trainer gallery cards. But this is one of my favorite Sylveon cards in the Sword and Shield. You know what? Maybe not. There's a Sylveon VMAX, which is tough. But, I mean, you can just tell. If you look at all the Sylveons, all of these are super, super pricey. Sylveon is one of those Pokemon that, in most cards, it's just going to be very, very expensive. So, hey, maybe... Dude, that's the thing. I'm always confused on which one to pick up. Or not confusion, but there's always so many options to invest in. Especially when we're in the second gold rush of the market where there's so many options. But, Brilliant Stars, if you go to the loose packs, because I want to show that as well. But just so many beautiful cards. Arceus. We have the Mimikyu as well. The sleeve blister packs are going up like nuts, though. And I'm telling you, that's just what happens over time. 1035, 9, 11, 12. This is people picking up huge quantities of them. And again, it's just the collectability aspect of it. The fact that you may be able to hang it up, or maybe kind of make it look like you got them from the store type of thing, right? I get blisters, expensive, bro. $38 now. I have one of each. 38, 36, 39, 33, 38. I sold mine for 32, and yet people called me scalper. Crazy how that works. And then we have the Leafeon, which is almost 40. 36, 35, 30, 30, 27. I sold mine for, I think it was 30.99. And I'm the scalper, guys. I'm the scalper. I'm just joking. I'm not joking what they said. I'm just joking. Obviously, I'm not a scalper. Anyways, we have some good characters. We have the Zekrom, which actually, I'm surprised hasn't spiked up further. And it probably had some type of, yeah, it had some spike, obviously, because of the new set that came out. The Black Flare, White Bolt. That's why this card skyrocketed, because it was a very popular Pokemon. As well as Vaporeon, Flareon, are just very popular Pokemon regardless. Cynthia's Ambition, I could see this card going up over time. It's obviously going to take a while. But I could definitely see this card going up a little bit. It's pretty down at the moment, but it's a Cynthia card. You can only expect it to go up eventually. If you go to the next page, Bolton's honestly a pretty cool card. I like the idea of it. Eevee as well is a big card in this set. I actually have one at the moment. I'm just going to hold on to. I think it was expensive at some point. It was at like $8, almost $12 at some point. Graph doesn't show it because it was in like one of those buyouts. Went down to $5.58 up to about $7. That's recently sold about $8 or so. It's a really nice card though. And again, it's Eevee. It's a very popular Pokemon. Jolteon as well. If you go to the packs itself, last recently sold about $8. Now, if you go look at that. Back in December, $4. Now they're about almost $8. Last recently sold $8. So it's an $8 pack minimum. I think that's still pretty decent. Obviously, it's not the $6.50 like Astral Radiance, but for how many popular Pokemon are in this set, the hundreds of cards, aka, I mean, the Charizard's the only really $100 card, but if you grade these very well, they could do very well. But Sword and Shield is a fantastic set, and honestly, we can even, not Scarlet Violet. What, is Crown Zenith? I think Crown Zenith is Sword and Shield, right? I just want to show this. I'm not saying to go buy Crown Zenith at the moment. I mean, you probably should before it goes up more, but I mean, we have the Giratina, 170, 116, 94, 71, 64, 43. I mean, these are just beautiful cards. And 3-pack pins. I have the Rillaboom and the Cinderace. 39, 39, 39, 49, 35. And they're 3 packs. And by the way, a big reason why people like 3-pack blisters is because it makes it almost guaranteed for it to not be weighed. I say in quotes. I don't know why I did that, but yeah, it makes it so you just can't weigh them. It's like the best chance of them not getting it weighed, if that makes any sense. If like someone who wants to buy from someone for the first time, that's what people would more than likely do. That's what I would think personally. If you're buying from someone that you know is trustworthy, don't go the more expensive route just to buy a blister. Just throwing that out there. That's what I would think when it comes to someone wanting to buy a blister. That's why people in like the EX era, EX Deoxys, EX Delta species, those blisters go for way, way more than the pack per price, because that's that more chance of it not being weighed. You know what I mean? I think that was probably a better explanation. So we have here 46, 46, 32, 35, 31. Expensive. Insane. The only one I wasn't able to pick up was the Inteleon, because I picked up 2 other things instead. But yeah, pick up 3-pack blisters. Always a great investment. Honestly, when you pick up anything for Pokemon, it's always going to be a good investment regardless. But more and more, when you pick up like blisters or elite trainer boxes, those have tendencies to go up. Crown Zenith per pack has been going up like insane lately. It's at 12.57. Last recently sold for 13.20. Last recently sold we hear 13.99. There's a 10 price. There's always like some sales that will sell really low just so the price can try and go down. That's very normal. There's times where you'll see like a sale for like $2 and they'll say a Korean pack, right? So fully keep that in mind. But $13.50, $13.25. I would say this is a good $12 pack. I don't think it's at 13 yet. It's at a good $12 though for sure. Even if you want to like average out the medium, it's about a $12 pack, which is insane for Crown Zenith. Now, me personally, I have about 30 packs of Crown Zenith, which is nuts. That's a good bit, right? I picked them up when they were about $10.75, and then I picked up a little bit bundle when they were only at $7.75. So definitely pretty good, pretty awesome, nonetheless. I also want to show a set as well that might be something you want to look into. Shining Fates. Now, I think Shining Fates is Sword and Shield. That'd be crazy if it wasn't. $100 Charizard card. Obviously, that's you can already carry a set like Champion's Path's carried from that. Now, the Charizard really varies. It's like a $95 card. Big things you want to look into is Elite Trainer boxes. They're down at the moment, but you know they're going to go up. This is just like how Celebrations for the longest time. Literally, the last 3 months, that's when it started skyrocketing. Celebration's been out since 2021, and it just had its peak. Or it's starting to get like a new peak. Does that make sense? Shining Fates, I think, is going to be the same way. Obviously, Celebrations is better than Shining Fates. But all of these collection sets like this, these special holiday sets, always go up in price, and it's always the most random time possible. So we have 82, 81, 86. I don't know where to find a Shining Fates ETB for a good price, so I won't be picking up any. I've sold my Pikachu V boxes, and I only have about 20 loose packs of Shining Fates. We go to the loose packs. They have not gone up that much. They're going up a little bit, which is nice. You know, from compared to August of last year, $5. But now they're going a bit more. 11, 11, 11, 11, 9. So they're a good 10, 25, 10, 50 per pack, which is great. The set's starting to go up. The big thing, the big cards in specific in this set could be Skyloop, $11. And when I mean big, this set is not huge. So like we have that, Ponyta, Suicune. If I go to the first page, the specific is just Charizard. That's like the big card from this set that people really hunt for. But I also think it's a great set to invest to just because it's a holiday set. But if I were to say, like, where are you going to put most of your money, right? That'd be either Brilliant Stars or Astro Radiance or how cheap it is. Or this very last one, Silver Tempest. Now, I have a booster box of Silver Tempest. This is a great set. And I'm also thinking about picking up an ETB. These are going up like crazy, the Silver Tempest Elite Trainer boxes. 90, 100, 100, 100, 199. I might pick up one of these boxes. Dude, the main reason I'm saying, like, I may or may not, the main reason is because I'm going on a trip. If I was not going on a trip, I would have already picked up the Silver Tempest, and I probably would have already thought about picking up the Sylveon. Like, it probably would have been, like, halfway saved up for it. But I'm going on a trip, so I have to wait on that, which is fine. Either way, because I can get this box at a good deal. Dude, this box is almost at $100. This set is going up. And the reason it's going up is because of the Lugia. Lugia is a huge card because it's Lugia. Now, the last recently sold is 332, 332. It's a $330 card, which is insane. That is a very high mark. Now, if you look, we have the 3-pack blisters, which also something I thought about picking up as well. I can get these for really good deals. The last recently sold only about 30. So I'm like thinking about it, but more than likely, if I'm going to invest into Silver Tempest, it's either going to be the ETB, just the ETB, honestly, because I already have a booster box. I can't get it any other way. So booster boxes are starting to go up, which is nice. 321, that's just the booster packs. So we have, look, almost 400, 380, 393. It's about a $390 box, which is fantastic. I bought mine at about 350. I bought in really high. However, I know this set's going to go up even more, especially for the fact that it's a sealed booster box, right? And remember, there's going to be a new era of Pokemon coming soon. So Sword and Shield is starting to skyrocket. Scarlet and Violet still has about maybe 6 months to another year before it starts to go out of print. So just keep that in mind, and that's why I'm investing in Sword and Shield personally. That's why I have a bunch of Evolving Skies. That's why I have a bunch of Brilliant Stars, Fusion Strike, Lost Origin. But in this video, I want to talk about like the cheaper side of Sword and Shield that's still great. So the Astral Radiance, the Silver Tempest, great sets. Now, I honestly can't believe that this box has gone up $40 since I bought it, but it's gonna go up even more, which is exciting. Anything else in this set that's super significant is a $75 Trainer Gallery Rayquaza, which, if you don't know, Rayquaza is a super popular Pokemon, especially in the card itself. 75 Deer Mint, 85, 80, almost an $80 card now for a Trainer Gallery, which is disgusting. Then if we keep looking, we have the Blaziken, which is like that cheaper version of the alt art from like Chilling Reign. So if you can see here, last year's sold 32.25. So it's like a $26, $27 card, which is still really good for a Trainer Gallery card. The main thing from this set is obviously the Rayquaza and the Lugia. So I would be like my biggest recommendations when it comes to some of these Sword and Shield sets. Y'all can let me know in the comments below what you think of this. If you disagree, that's totally fine. This video was to kind of inform you, let you know what I'm investing in, and hopefully this helps you of some sort. I'll see you on the next one. God bless. Jesus loves y'all.